being in the garden, if you are quiet and you allow the leaves, the dirt, the birds,
Yep.
the climate,
Yeah.
if you pay attention, um, you will see where we are going. I just don't want us to get left behind. I don't want us to be, so reliant on the things
Yep.
that we miss it, and then we are out here desolate. We are out here not prepared.
Composting cotton and cornrows. Oh.
Welcome to the Compost, Cotton, and Cornrows podcast. I'm your host, Dominique Drakeford, and this is where Black vanguards are redefining sustainability through storytelling. Today's guest, Naya Brown Matthews, is a mother, a farmer, a breast cancer survivor, and a community leader whose work shows how making the choice to grow food can restore your body, your mental health, and your overall being. Let's get into it. All right, Naya Brown Matthews. Welcome to the pod. I'm so excited to have you.
I'm so excited too. Thank you for having me today.
Yes, all things expert, gardener, farmer, community leader. We'll get into all the things, but before we get in, I'd love to know how you define sustainability to ground our conversation.
Do I sustain? Oh, let's see. Let me think.
Mhm.
How do I giving back, walking in my purpose fully, unapologetically,
Mm,
right? Legacy, all of that to me, that leads me in the alignment, keeps me in alignment,
I love
um,
that.
for sustainability because it's bigger than me. It's not just self sustainability, right? It's community, education, all those things, all those adjectives.
I love all the adjectives. The list goes on and on and on. But I love the grounding in yourself because you have to be sustained and be doing and walking with intentionality and purpose in order to feed your community. So I love this grounding definition that you provided. Um, I've been following you for a while and I do feel like you're one of I would go beyond Atlanta, but just you're one of the most transformative voices in food sovereignty and wellness and like teaching folks to grow their own food and doing it with your beautiful accent and your beautiful garden. And so I'd love to know just how you got started in land stewardship in agriculture.
Goodness, COVID. I think COVID was a catapult. It pushed me into that, right? I was
Mm,
one of those ground zero COVID patients.
mm,
Almost went to the upper room behind COVID. And
mm.
so my husband and I decided to buy some land in a rural area and just grow food just for the sake of our health, to have a better relationship with food. And it kinda sorta just took off from there. There was no way that I was gonna be able to learn that, do that, and not share that, like, gatekeep that knowledge. So that's what spearheaded us into what you see today.
I love that. And did you teach yourself or was it a mix of YouTube University or did you have a guru guiding you? How did you
Listen,
actually learn to grow your own food?
I say this all the time with anything that I've done in all my I say my lives. I've lived several lives, but God put the super on my natural. I'm a very spiritual person, so I believe he put the super on my natural for a time such as this. Self-taught, first generation farmer. So,
Mm,
yeah, it was one of those willingness to do a thing, learn a thing, master a thing, then share the thing.
mm. And I don't know that you talk about the wellness very deeply in terms of being a breast cancer survivor, a mother, a humanitarian, just a powerhouse businesswoman and community leader. And I think it speaks to this idea of radical regeneration. How has farming and tending to the soil personally supported your healing, mind, body, spirit, emotional, political, all the things?
It put me in alignment with who I am and whose I am. My identity as a whole. Getting back to and mind you, I was the girly girl who, wore red bottoms and all the bags and, you
Were
know
you?
yes, I was that girl. You talk about 20 years in real estate and living in Atlanta, doing all the things, and so putting me into, a country space, putting me in
With some overalls.
yes, absolutely, can't take them overalls off of me, I don't wear the nails, my hands are always in dirt, my nails are always dirty. To tell me that I will be doing this in this part of my life, people are getting the better version of Naya. I think
Mm.
God allowed He stripped me away of all the things that I felt that at the time I thought I needed to get back to the basics of of what life is really about. And that's being grounded in who I am, my mind, my body, my spirit. And I tell people now, if you are my friend or you're in my circle, you're probably getting the better version of Naya. Um, because it's bigger than materials, right?
Yeah.
It's getting back to the basics and true health and true wellness and knowing that where the food source comes from, knowing where medicine comes from, all that, and all of that,
Mhm.
all of that. That's
Mhm.
what people are getting. The pivot has been the best thing I could have ever done for myself and my family and my community.
I love that. I love the folks are getting the better part of who you are. I love that expansion and that extension and just pivoting from you to the community. Like you've built some incredible community workshops. When I say I be on your page, girl. I'm like, yes. But you've built some beautiful community workshops and programs that feel really rooted in self-sufficiency and just community. I don't wanna say resilience, but regeneration, like, in a world where systems are often failing, especially Black and brown folks, what do you believe is one of the most urgent skills or mindset that you teach people to cultivate in your workshops?
I wanna say, I think a lot of people get in their heads about, I don't have a green thumb, I don't have all the
Mhm.
resources, and my, answer to that is you just gotta have the willingness to wanna learn how,
Yeah.
right? To learn to do it, and I think that's been my approach with this whole gardening space, this farming space. I'm being very transparent in my journey. I did not know all the things either. And so I'm teaching people to start where you are. What is it? What's your why? That's what I always start my workshops with, my coaching with. What's your why? Why do you want to do it? Is it for better health? Is it for community? Do you want to make money through it? Like, what's your why? Do you want to get off those chemical drugs? What's the why? And once you learn the why, that'll kind of put you in your project, come up with the strategy, the outline on how to get there. And here I am, hold my hand, sister, here my hand, hold my hand, brother. Let me help you. Let me show you how to get there.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm one of those, if I could do it, you could do it kind of persons. Because again, that's
100%.
not, if you followed my journey, if you've watched me pivot numerous times, it's always never gatekeeping and teaching people, especially now. Is who would have thought? So let's just say, take this for a minute. If you've seen my page or follow up the journey, this was needed now more than when I first started at a time such as this, right? So I feel that sometimes when we got a solution to the problem, it'll irk you, it'll make you feel away. You can't stop dreaming about it. You can't stop thinking about it because you got the solution to the problem.
Right.
And it's one of those, are you going to say yes and do it? Or are you just going to sit back and then you're going to watch somebody else do it when in actuality it was yours to do from the beginning? So
That part.
this is my part. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're actually a testament to you can do it. You know, I speak to a lot of agriculturalists and farmers, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th generation, and the fact that you started, you know, 2020, 2021, right after the pandemic, and you've come this far and in sharing your journey and learning so much, you are literally a vessel for reclaiming your own nourishment and reclaiming your power. Like your videos and what you share, and how you share is if I could do it, you could do it. And that's what I
Right.
love about what you're putting out into the world.
And it's so funny because I never thought that I would be in this space, and I'm just sharing my true authentic self during this journey, right? And I think that's what makes it relatable. I know in this sector, it's normally not us. This is a male dominating, well, white male dominating field of, line of work or genre. And it's just one of those. I wanted people to feel like this brown girl who was a girly girl could do it.
Mm,
I know for sure you can, and it's not about how much land you have. It's not about if I live in a condo, if I live in a townhouse, if I just got a plot, a half an acre, a quarter of an acre, does not matter. And
balcony.
I'm shouting from the rooftops to empower my people to see that they could see themselves in me and the work that I'm doing,
Mm,
and they get ignited, and then they share, and then it
yeah,
becomes a communal thing. So yeah.
yeah. Leaning more into community, um, is there anything that your students or your children, daughter, or even, your elders or, the first time gardeners have taught you about the future of food and wellness and community care? What's one thing that really stands out to you that you've learned and that you hold close to your chest in this journey?
One thing that I've held close, I was gonna say, is taking it back to the basics. Like, it don't take all that. Like, I know we're in a world, everybody, is content, it's gotta look curated and all the things. I want us to kinda strip that away and think about what's the source of it all? Like, what's the meaning of it all? The why. Why are we doing it? And can we sustain it? Can we keep this going? Can we bridge the gap? I think with COVID, what it taught us, I saw a lot of people moving in a lot of selfish behavior. Can I say
Mhm,
that? Like, everybody was just acting really selfish with not caring about how one thing will, make another person feel. Or I want us to get back to the community of it all, the bartering of it all, filling that generational gap because I'm seeing that. Um, I feel a sadness with some of this the movement that I'm seeing with these generations, and I wanna bridge that gap, if that makes kinda
mhm,
sense. I know it's a
mhm,
very big calling, a mantle to have, um, but I feel that this is just my seed I'm putting in the ground, that I hope that you water it, and then somebody your children water it, and then it just becomes the gift that keeps on giving. Does that
yeah,
make sense?
yes,
More than anything, and when I leave this earth, I wanna make sure that my footprints is left with, "You know what? Naya, Brown Matthews did that. Her organization did that. Her and her husband did that." You understand what I mean? That's the
mhm,
legacy I wanna leave, behind, with education and wisdom, and hence why you hear me do those coming live from the gardens
mhm,
with the cup in my hand. I think gardening teaches us, I think, the downloads of why we're here, right? And some people that come, they're not even they come to the workshop, are not even interested in gardening. They want to know what gardening taught me. What did God download into me? What did I learn from walking barefoot in the ground or putting my hands in the soil? What did it teach me? So yeah, I know I went around all of that, but
no, not even, not even. I think I speak often about the intergenerational components of how we connect. It makes me think about young gardeners, the babies, all the way to the elders, and everything in between, everyone in between. How can we commingle and coexist and build a blueprint so that we all are connected and healing together? Um, I mean, it's a huge undertaking, but you are absolutely leaving your footprint, your boot print at that. Like, Imma go on record and say that I know a few people who you've inspired, folks who
mm,
were like, "Have you seen Nia Brown Matthews' Instagram? I love how she did this. I love how she authentically, framed, gardening in this way. I love first of all, I love her garden. I wanna have a garden like that." Babies, all the way to older folks. So your footprint is definitely visible. So I just wanna let you know that,
thank
and
you.
and thank you for that.
And do you know, and I people won't believe this, but, if you see my husband, I pull him into the content, right?
Mhm,
But
mhm.
my husband, mind you, it's like he woke up and he became Bob the Builder for the
Mm,
time that we are in. So all of the things that you see we have, we built for others, for ourselves. My God put the super on my husband's natural as well to be on this journey. And now here he is getting ignited to want to teach that generation about the basics of learning how to build things, how to, use a drill, use the tools, learning the trade, the
mm,
basics, so that we can be
mm.
able to sustain in this sector that we're in.
Not
Um,
only becoming a carpenter, woodworker overnight,
yes,
but
yes,
what you're speaking to though is this you're pushing on this idea of calling, yes, but also being receptive to whatever shifts may happen. You're pushing on how we need to listen to source, whatever source that is, right? And how things can shift in an instant. And I think sometimes we get so wrapped in our own goals and dreams that we don't even realize what we need or what needs us.
yes,
And I think you're speaking to that so eloquently in terms of, "Oh, I just had a 360 shift from the red bottoms to the soil.
yeah.
We doing this."
Yes,
That's
and
so
that one thing
powerful.
is if you stay ready, you have to get ready. I feel like as we're clearly, if you got the television on and you're watching the news, you're seeing the headlines, we are going into this direction that we need to be prepared for, right? And I'm not a doom and gloom kind of person. I'm just saying if you open up your eyes, you be still for a minute. We're so busy being busy. I don't want people to miss it.
Mm.
I
Yep.
don't want them to miss. I don't want them to not be prepared. So, follow the breadcrumbs. Look at what's happening around us. Be still. Learn on, start, being still is what I can't, being in the garden, if you are quiet and you allow the leaves to, the dirt, the birds,
Yep.
how the climate,
Yeah.
if you pay attention, um, you will see where we are going.
Yep.
And I just
100%.
don't want us to get left behind. I don't want us to be, so reliant on the things that we miss it. And then we are out here desolate. We are out here not prepared.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that's real. That's real. And I think what you're speaking to as well is that gardening or farming or agricultural work, soil work does not have a particular look, right? I think sometimes we can feel that that space is isolated, but we all can find our space in the garden in order to find moments of silence, right?
Absolutely.
Like it doesn't have a specific look, geographic location or what have you. And I think that that's powerful that the garden is a critical opportunity for us to find stillness, right? Yes, to grow our own food, yes, to be independent, yes, to do all those things, but also in terms of healing and listening and shifting our mindset and being cognizant of the urgency that's happening in the world,
Yeah.
the garden is a sacred space for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you are in that place, I think again, I came from corporate, right? Being
Mhm.
busy, three cell phones, working
Mm.
all the time,
Mm. All
nonstop,
3.
running businesses.
Yeah.
I've been there, and I understand. There's a season to work and there's a season to rest, and I can't push that enough because if you always going, 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 you're gonna miss the message. And we are meant to pivot. We're always moving, right, to a degree, but I don't want us to lose ourselves in that being so busy that we miss it.
Mm.
Um, because through this gardening journey, I'm in the better my health. 6 months into this journey, me and my husband both got off all medications. Literally. My
I know
husband's
that's right.
diabetic. I was hypertension, high cholesterol, vitamin D deficient, full menopause, taking
Mm,
the chemical drugs. The minute we changed our lifestyle, the minute we decided we wanted to go on this journey, within 6 months, my husband and I both were able to get off all that medication. And the fogginess, the brain fog went away. I can't tell you, I know it's the lifestyle. It's the
mm.
lifestyle for sure.
What was the most challenging part in prioritizing yourself, you and your husband? What was the most challenging part in making that shift? That's a huge lifestyle shift.
It is. It
What
is.
was the hard what hurdle did you have to overcome to get to that point?
It was one of those, when I do things, I love to master the thing, right?
Mhm.
Um, I felt a little, I didn't get, I felt like Naya Brand, and this is just my experience. I was once upon a time a perfectionist, right? I love to do things and I love to do things well. I started getting in my head feeling like I wasn't equipped with enough confidence to do it, right? It's like, who now you think she is? Like, girl, you didn't come from no line of farmers and gardeners. Like, who equipped you with this information? You don't
Mm.
have an agriculture degree. You came from a business degree. Like, girl, who you think you are, right? I'm up here telling myself, girl, nobody's gonna take you serious. You don't know your stuff. And so I started to almost talk myself out of doing the thing because I didn't feel like I'd had everything in place to do it. Does that make sense? We'll talk
Yeah.
ourselves out of it real quick. Like, and then I'm putting it on social media, right? So then
Mm.
I know these people looking at me real crazy. Like,
Critics came
"That
flying.
girl, listen, listen, I've been doing this for 11 years. Who you think you are? You can't teach nobody how to do the thing." And so I had to turn it off. I had to turn that off because what it was the imposter syndrome, right? It was that comparison that, is a thief of all joy. Like, I had to turn that thing off. And so I had to unfollow, to be honest.
Mm.
And if the Lord told you, and this is me again, this is my walk. If he gives you the vision, he'll give you the provision.
Mm.
He'll give you the resources. He'll give you the wisdom. So that's where I had to kind of put the blinders on. When horses train, they put the blinders on the horse, right? So they can focus on the race. And that was my way of doing that. I had to cut
Mm.
it off. I had to do it Nia Brown Matthews' way. I didn't want to do it their way. And by doing that, that's when it came. That's where the resources came. That's when the wisdom came. That's when the outline came. That's where the strategy came. That's where the logistics came. And now
Mm.
you're seeing it in full in real time.
I
That's what
love that. I love that deeply. But wait a minute. Wait a minute, Naya. You said you were a perfectionist. How did that fare well for you when you started learning how to garden? What did perfectionism do in the garden? Because
because there were
I would assume that the
listen,
garden broke you down.
all the way down. It
All
humbled
the
me
type
real.
A-ness.
Yes, because there's things that you cannot control.
Mm.
I'm out there in the elements. This is the deer and the animal, the squirrels, the worms. That's their space. I'm trying to
Yep.
find a way how to cohabitate in their
Mhm.
space. Like, being defeated by bugs, like that's their world, that's their territory. And I'm just gonna say, when I put my hands on it, hence you see my garden is very aesthetically pleasing.
Yes, it
Just the
is.
way that I am. My land matches my home.
Yeah.
So, and I tell people all the time, just because I'm aesthetically pleasing, my rows are, even, that's just the way that I am. The world call it OCD. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not big on labels. So I'm not, maybe the world call it OCD. I just like things nice and neat. My home is the same way. It's a reflection. I love things in order. I love things, that's just my way of thinking. Hence, I'm a coach. So my coaching method is I kind of help you streamline. That's the
Yeah.
same mind frame I have in my garden. However, the bugs and animals and the critters and all the things, they tell you no. I love your
Did
green.
they humble you a little?
Listen, listen. When I grow some for me, I gotta grow some for the animals too, because they gonna come out there and they gonna act like it's Golden Corral out there in them streets. Here.
Yes. Your level of perfectionism in the gardening. I love the aesthetically pleasingness.
Yeah.
But from one gardener to another, I know that sometimes aesthetics don't work out the way you intended. And
Yes!
like you said, this is their habitat and we have to figure out how to coexist with them.
Exactly,
Right, right,
exactly
right, right.
right, my thing is, if you see a bug in the garden, you gotta ask yourself, "Why are they there?"
Mm.
Right? Why are they
Mhm.
there? All bugs are not bad, right? And this is a person who didn't like to deal with no worms and the whole thing, like, let's just be clear. But they're there, and what it allows you to do is you're paying attention. Now you're being present. Now you're studying. Okay, they're here because I have this going on, or worms are a good sign. Worms are not all bad. They're there because that's some good soil. Mushrooms are there because that's some good fertile soil. So just learning all the basics of that, and just finding a way to coexist is it's all. It's not hard.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. One of these days, Imma need a photo shoot of old Naya with the red bottom, the whole shebang on in the middle of compost. Imma need that juxtaposition one day for the right cause, for
Yeah,
the right platform,
yeah.
that photo shoot is gonna coexist because I think that that juxtaposition is so interesting, so so beautiful,
And
granted.
because in those days, that's just who Naya was,
Mhm.
corporate, and I've just pivoted quite a few times actually. I welcome the pivot because I might be doing this season, but next season I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, right?
Yeah,
And all I know is
100%.
bigger than me, right? It's bigger than me, and I think we just gotta welcome the pivot. But the new currency is greens, collard
Mm,
greens,
mm,
kale. That's the new
mm,
currency.
mm.
That's the new currency.
And
I need
green
to
is very
see that
symbolic
shift.
for all the things.
Yes, that's the new currency.
Do you find that growing food is cultural? Do you find any parts of, like, your culture, your heritage, your family lineage, um, are you finding any of that coming up through your process as you design space and teach and plant?
Do now. Yes, when you're present in it, I'm reminding of so many stories now. Conversations my mom and my grandmother and my grandfather had. And even when my mom come visit and she's out there, and I remember she makes the best collard greens, but it's a
Mm,
nostalgic moment when she comes out there and she's in my garden picking my greens and we're
mm,
eating our greens and we are
mm.
sharing stories and her childhood memories together. And now, because I allow my neighbors to come in my garden and pick, I see them out there telling their stories that they had as well. And it's just so full circle for us, being present in that and having those memories. Now, my daughter ain't quite there yet. Let's just say my daughter's a biologist in botany, chemistry. She likes that world, but
Yeah.
I feel that it'll come back. It's in her. I put the seed in her. She feel, I think that
STEM and agriculture, parallel. I feel like it'll get there.
yeah, I do. If she comes, she don't have no problem coming shopping in the garden, though. So I
Yes,
just
shopping
need
in the
her.
garden.
Listen, I'm just saying. I, one day I think, but yeah, to your question, I do. Yes, I believe that full circle. My husband and I both. My husband says even more so now than ever.
Mm,
When he goes out there on our property, my husband loses like hours out there. And he says now he remembers him being out there with his grandfather, and it just brought back
oh,
so many
yes.
amazing memories. And now and he'll be out there with his legs crossed like his
I
granddaddy
love
was
it.
prancing, and he says, "Just, Naya, I'm connected to my papa out there in
Mm,
that garden." And I said, "Oh,
that's beautiful.
yeah, yeah, man." It's just
That's beautiful.
yeah.
That's beautiful. Is there any what vegetable, herb, or fruit, whatever you grow, I feel like it's mainly vegetables, but what crop taught you the biggest life lesson throughout your we're 5-year journey so
Mm,
far?
let me see. Corn.
How
My
so?
goodness. Yes, corn. Corn is so tricky for me, and I'm refuse to be defeated. Remember I talked about perfectionism?
I know that's right. Come
Listen,
on.
it's a trial and error. I'm still trying to perfect corn to this day. But what corn, you could do, this three sister method. You garden, right? You understand
Yes, I grew corn for the first time this summer. Epic fail. didn't get it. I saw it, and I know that there's a lot of methods to get corn precise because corn grows in windy areas. So
Yes,
you have
yes.
to you
You
gotta
can have
self-fertilize essentially unless you're growing
absolutely.
a lot of corn.
Yes.
So I it was my first time and I was hurt. Corn hurt my feelings,
It'll
okay?
humble you quick. It'll humble you. Corn will humble
Right.
you. And I realize that every season don't have to be perfect, right?
Right, right,
And
absolutely.
you gotta just learn that. Sometimes it don't like the certain soil. It don't like to be a companion planting. It needs
Mhm,
this
mhm,
and it don't need that. And
mhm.
you gotta have the right distance between. You gotta have the right sun. You got to have the right companion plant. You got to have the right soil, enough
Yeah,
nitrogen, all the things. And so
yeah,
I can have a great season in it, and sometimes it's not so great.
yeah.
But I refuse to be defeated and, because there is and it's just it taught me just that. It taught me just that. All the you can do all the things, but it can never always be perfect all the time, right? You're not gonna always have a harvest all the time. You
100%.
you know what I mean? But when I plant 'em with the beans, I might have a abundance of beans
Mhm.
growing, but that corn bald-headed. Hell, the corn is
Mm.
bald-headed.
Definitely bald-headed, and I'm like, "Okay, what oil I need to put on you? Cause you ain't working right."
And then with climate, we
That's
are dealing with climate
hilarious.
change. That's
Yes,
real. I
100%.
I saw a difference even in that season as well, that
Mm.
it was just, it stayed cooler longer. We had a slow start to the summer.
Mhm.
So all the things. And so I say that to say we're not always in control. We're not always in control. You could try to perfect it all you want, but you just got to stay on it. You got to just keep pressing. It's the resilience. It's the not giving up.
Yeah,
And that's just my take on that. I didn't
yeah,
beat myself up as much. I just take the notes on what I did wrong
yeah,
and just come back next season and I'll do better.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I think
yeah.
we need to take that with everything in our life, right? You
100%.
know what I mean? I mean, I beat cancer not once, but twice.
I
I
know
could
that's right.
allow it to overcome me. I could allow it to take my identity, but I don't.
Mm.
So, hence, you don't see in my bio. I used to in the beginning. People wouldn't know
Mhm.
that I beat cancer.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not prevalent,
no,
and I felt
because
that that was intentional.
yes, because
Yeah,
it's not my identity. It's
yeah,
something that I overcame, and when
yeah,
you change your mind on that, it won't consume you. You
100%.
understand? And so, I'm a COVID survivor. I was ground zero, almost died
Yeah,
of COVID. I made the news, but you don't see me, wearing that banner. I
yeah.
beat co no, it's an
That's not your
obstacle.
life's headline, right,
Exactly.
right,
It's something that I
100%.
overcame, and now I've moved on.
Yeah,
So, that's just my take on that. Some people, they wallow in it. I call it
yeah,
ashes. It's like they wallow in the ash, they eat the ash, they live in the ash. But in my walk with God, it says He'll give you beauty for your ashes. And so
mm.
that's exactly what He did. He gave me the beauty through the ashes. And I just want to show you that you too can overcome all the things, and just how I am able to keep pressing through.
I mean, like, I just feel like that was such beautiful closure. Like, I didn't even I have there's so much more I wanna ask you, but I just feel like you wrapping up and sharing this testament that there are chapters in our lives
Yeah.
that don't define us,
Yeah.
but it is a testament to how we pushed through.
Absolutely.
And I think that, again, to me, these are all lessons that stay rooted in the garden. They're all opportunities to understand self and environment. One thing you did lift up, though, you mentioned climate change. Within your 5 years of gardening, are you seeing, or what exactly are you seeing in terms of the shift in your garden as it relates to the climate crisis, if any? I mean, you're a small independent gardener, but just wondering, are you
Yeah.
feeling any of
Absolutely.
that?
When you pay attention to your garden, you look at your vegetables will talk to you. The leaves curl more.
Mm.
the sun is closer to the earth, like,
Got you sounding poetic with this answer. The leaves curl more. I love it.
they
I love it.
do, and, compared to, the years, each year is different, right?
Mhm.
But you do have to pay attention to your surroundings, and I pay attention to everything in my garden. When you just like you have a baby, you have to nurture your baby, right? So that they can
Mhm.
become,
Mhm.
self-sufficient, right? The same thing goes when you're planting a seed into the ground. You're nurturing it, and you're paying attention to the leaves, and they're curling or they're stagnant,
Mm.
they're not producing fruit, and you ask your questions why. I pay attention to all the things.
Mm.
And so I'm just noticing with this climate change, the seasons are different.
Mm.
They're delayed, the sun is hotter, the soil is drier. And so I'm present. I'm
Mm.
present. Just like when you got a garden, you go on vacation and you come back and you notice maybe a hornworm devoured your whole tomato plant. Because I won't on guard. I won't watch. I was gone. I was living my best life, right? So,
Mm.
the same thing with this climate. I just feel that, we just gotta find a way to just work around that. Like, don't feel
Yeah.
defeated. It happens to the best of us,
Yeah.
gardeners,
Yeah.
farmers. My chickens were entire flock was killed by, a pack of
Wow.
dogs. Killed
Wow.
all my girls. And I was almost not gonna restart getting chickens again, but that's the chain of life, right? The circle of life. The animals gotta eat, they gotta find food or however the case may be, but I could have quit, but I didn't. And the
Mm.
same thing goes with our vegetables in the garden and the climate change. Things are gonna happen that's not within your control. So you can either throw in the towel or we're just gonna try again. And I think that when you know that your calling, your purpose is
Mm.
bigger, then you'll just keep going. You'll keep pressing through, and not give up. So
Mm.
that's just my take on that. I could quit today, but I'm not because it's
Yeah.
bigger than me. I got a community to feed. I got a community to teach. And it's too much at stake for me to give up or to
Yeah. Yeah. You have fed us
mm,
so much in this conversation, and I want to thank you. When I think about the future of food, the future of wellness, the future of community care, and especially thinking about young people, the next generation, is there one word that comes to mind that is the culmination of those things that you want to live in the young people's heart space as they move throughout 2026?
mm. Let's see if I had to a word. It is just it's resilience.
Okay.
It's resilience. We are going to be faced with so much more in this world,
Yeah.
but we are resilient. We're going to bounce back. One monkey don't stop the show. We can press our way through. We are stronger together. We are, and I just need us to take that power back and just know and recognize that in whatever the thing is, whatever we are faced with. So resilience is my word. We are just that.
Yes, I know that's right. Thank you so much, Naya, farmer, healer, entrepreneur, guru of trying to figure out how to get some hair on the bald headed corn. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
your time, your energy, your knowledge.
Yeah.
This felt very sacred and beautiful, and just honored to share space with you, sis. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, my fellow garden soul sister.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you for
And to
having me.
you said what?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for using your platform to
Course, of
educate and
course, of
uplift others.
course.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
wouldn't have had it any other way. And to close out the episode, we're doing a sustainability soundtrack. So we're gonna have rapid fire questions to create a sustainability soundtrack. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, ready?
You sound a little nervous.
Okay.
Don't be nervous. Okay. What song is bringing you joy right now?
Goodness gracious. Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Okay, okay, okay. What song helps you heal when life gets really tough?
We fall down.
We Fall Down. Nice, nice, nice. And what song to you sounds like sustainability? Mm.
Goodness gracious. Girl, oh, you put me on the spot. Let me think. Let me think.
This
Oh
is
my
my
goodness.
favorite one because it stumps everybody.
Yes, I'm sitting here trying to think of a change is gonna come. Yes.
A change is gonna come. Good one, good one, good one. All right, that's perfect. That's actually excellent. All right, thank you so much, Naya Brown Matthews. Let me use your whole government around these parts.
Listen,
How can folks continue to stay invested in the work and continue to be moved by everything that you're building?
follow everything Naya Brown Matthews. It's across all platforms. And visit our website, twinoakfarmsga.com.
Hey, hey, Georgia, Atlanta, let's go. Thank you, and that is a wrap.
Thank you.
If this episode expanded how you think about healing, food, and self sufficiency, then share it, subscribe, and help amplify Black women who are growing resilience from the ground up. See you next time.
Composting cotton and cornrows.
We've turned nothing to gold since the birth of our soul. It's ingrained in our room. Black is more than flesh and bone, planted deep in our code, and we bear the fruit. Yeah, they wonder how our stride's so bold, and our pride stone cold after all we've been through. Rich as the texture of our crown.